Mic's on. Can you all hear me? Very good. Good morning. In Amsterdam for the people who travel from far. Jan, you asked me to talk today about being in control of your smart home and talk a little bit about Toon, which I of course will do because I'm proud of our achievements. But first I would like to tell you that when I founded our company 12 years ago, my thought was that smart home would be mass market in 6 years. And it didn't happen. 6 years ago, Tony Fadell, the founder of Nest, he thought that smart home would be big in 6 years. It didn't happen. He left the company, for those of you who don't know that. So smart home, why am I here? Why am I talking about smart home? Question for you. I thought 12 years ago it would be big. Tony thought it would be big 6 years ago. Who of you thinks smart home will be big in 6 years? And who doesn't? Okay, so some people say yes and the rest is doubting. That's interesting. So let's first discuss the smart home promise. Because it has been there forever. I don't know if some of you know the cartoon, the Jetsons. They had smart home 25 years ago or even longer ago. When I talk to investors, like René, who spoke, I spoke to René probably 6-8 years ago, 10 years ago, and he said, well, maybe smart home is the best solution that hasn't found a problem yet. So he might have been right at that time. Other people said, we're still waiting for the killer app, and maybe it was the smart thermostat, maybe it's a camera, we don't know. Or maybe it will forever stay only for male early adopters, which it has been also forever. Other people say, especially in the energy industry, yes, but the smart meter, that will really drive the adoption, so maybe that's what it will be. But still, what you see with many consumer innovations, how to cross the chasm. That's very difficult. Also, how should you bring smart home to market? You can take a supermarket. There are many supermarkets worldwide who are trying to bring smart home to the mass market. Telecommunications, consumer companies like Samsung. Google is trying with Nest, energy companies, they're all trying. But as I said, always the problem with innovations, especially in the consumer market, is crossing the chasm. That's almost impossible because, yes, when you start, I started my startup, everyone was excited about it because the people I spoke to who were excited were those early adopters who always love innovation. So they buy your product and then after a few months they buy the next and they forget about your product. So this is a constant, and this is really a trap for a lot of startups in the smart home space. It stays within the innovator, in the small circle there, and that's great for a while, but then it dies and new ones come. And the real money is in crossing the chasm and going to the early majority and then the late majority. And that's the biggest challenge. Because consumers, they don't really know what they want. But when they have it, then they know if it's good, that it's really good. So I believe that there is no killer app, and the adoption will still take time. You can, however, cross the chasm. That's why I'm here to talk about in the next few slides we did. Some advice for other startups who want to cross the chasm in smart home is a partner, for example, with an energy retailer, like we did with Eneco. Especially in competitive markets, because if you are a monopolist, like in France, EDF is the monopolist for electricity, there's no need to start selling smart home. Yes, you can take advantage of smart meter rollout. The telco play is very interesting, especially if you look at the consumer who doesn't really know what they want. If you provide them a free product, which we do with Eneco, if you sign a contract for 3 or 4 years, you get the product for free. You don't really know what it does, but it seems like okay. And once it's installed, you love it, and you will keep expanding the possibilities. And once this device is in the home as the core device of your service, the idea is that as long as you provide good services, it will never leave the home. On top, if you look at Nest in Google, they had the one-off service selling the product and then move on. We believe in recurring services and recurring revenue. That's the biggest, I would say, for us it's the killer app from the business part. It's the recurring revenue. But also, as I said earlier, the early adopter, which is at the beginning of the curve, he likes to use new stuff. So be aware that your product doesn't wear off and it's thrown in a drawer somewhere. So don't forget to have a roadmap and keep your customers happy. So something about Toon in Eneco to prove you that we are really crossing the chasm. And this is just the Netherlands. We are active in other countries now. Also, we have some announcements later this year with big European energy companies. But just to show you that it's possible. So 2014, we had 100,000 homes online. This year, we reach about 350K homes. And at the current pace, we will be at 1 million homes in 2018, which is more than 15% of all the homes in the country. So that's really crossing the chasm. So with Toon, you can be in control of your smart home and cross the chasm. So our product, I didn't talk about it a lot. It's not a smart thermostat for an energy company. It's really a business model to sell new services. That's it. Thank you for your time.